Hey, how we doing tonight, guys? Look who I got. It's Jason from Redfish Bluefish. Hey, Jason.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
yeah. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Every one of you guys that have agreed to come up and hang out with this weirdo, it's very heartwarming, and I appreciate it. Let me
We
get a couple.
weirdos stick together, man.
Let me get a couple of things out of the way. It looks like people are still trickling in, so I'm going to say this now, and then I'll also say it about halfway through the show. Um, So, for anybody that hasn't been here before or forgets, the whole first half of the stream, Jason and I are just going to have a conversation. We're just going to talk. We're not going to be looking at the chat. We're not going to be saying hi to the people that come in or anything like that. It's by design, just so we can focus on our guest. And then the second half of the chat, that's when we'll open it up, and you guys can ask your questions for Jason. And ask away, get some questions ready for him. And Jason does, he's a little bit on a time crunch tonight, so we're going to make sure to get in that exact hour. We're not going to go over, so let's try and get right there and stay laser focused. Okay. Hi, Jason.
Well, hello. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's a little toasty here, not like what you guys just dealt with. um,
Yeah. It was pretty nuts over here for a few days, man.
and you said on the island was a little bit cool. How much cooler was it there on the island?
So about the hottest I saw it get was down south from here in Freeland, Langley area. And it was right at 100 outside in the sun, that's a big deal for here.
Yeah.
And I think over in Seattle, I saw it, 116, 117.
Yeah.
Portland was pushing 118, I think. It was, yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
no, yeah, the local flora is not designed to deal with that heat. And yeah,
Yeah,
it was pretty bad.
that's like the Gobi Desert type heats. That's not what we're used to in our Pacific Northwest. Do you live there on the island, or is
I
that just where
do.
you're shopping? You live right on the
Yeah,
island too.
yeah. I live down. I live. Let's see. My shop is located in Green Bank, Washington, which is kind of the middle point of the island, maybe just a little bit south of the middle point. And it's where the island gets really, really skinny. It's quite skinny. If you look it up on a map, Green Bank, Washington. I actually live about 8 miles further south from here, but on the island. So
Eight
it's
miles.
it's yeah, it's a really, really short commute, man. Eight nine
Yeah,
miles maybe.
that's awesome. Do you ever ride a bike or anything to work? Or
No, I don't. I don't do that. I haven't gone that far.
come on, man.
Yeah, there's basically you really can't get lost on this island. It's really impossible to. I mean, well, that's not true. You can get lost, but all you have to do is just keep going. And if you hit a dead end, turn around and go back the other way and keep going, keep going. You'll eventually hit the highway, which runs from the southernmost tip to the northernmost tip. You can't miss it. It's
Gotcha.
impossible to miss it. So,
Yeah.
um, with that said, there's basically just one way to get from where I live to here, and that's the highway. And
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, I don't know. Some people ride like 12 speeds and stuff like that on the side of
Yeah.
the road, and I always
Yeah.
feel like, God, man, those guys got some guts.
Yeah.
All it takes someone is not paying attention, and ooh,
Yeah.
I'm always paranoid about that.
I could see that. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I thought, when it comes to that kind of stuff, the Pacific Northwest is pretty forward thinking. So that's unfortunate that you don't have like a bike lane or something that you can ride on. But, one of these times too, I'd love to see more of the area. Maybe you just do it like a quick video from close to your house to close to your shop. I just like to see the kind of trees and just see the scenery around the area because I bet
Yeah,
it's amazing.
yeah.
It must
Well,
be
I've
beautiful.
been wanting to do exactly that. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, I was kind of gonna go on I got a GoPro, a nice GoPro, and go on just like a nature walk, kind of and just film it all and edit it, together and put it out there and kind of share with people where I go around and where I walk around out here to get kind of inspiration for tanks and aquascapes and things like that. And like we were talking about a little bit before the stream, some recent mechanical issues put the kibosh on that plan,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. You've had a lot of and did they figure out what was wrong with your truck then?
Yeah, they're working on it. Last I heard is that they were starting to raise their eyebrows and say, it really can't be a whole lot more than the ECM, the computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is never good news.
No,
Never
no,
good.
that's the brains nowadays, and can't be cheap.
No, no, it's uncheap. It is
Yeah,
uncheap, anti-cheap,
yeah, anti cheap. I like it.
anti-cheap.
So, have you lived in that same area for your entire life? Or I know we'll get into like what you did for a living, at least at a superficial level. We'll get into that, but I know you've moved a lot, quite a bit, right? So, are you from the Pacific Northwest, or?
No, I'm actually not. I've lived here in the Pacific Northwest for 4 years now.
Oh, okay.
In fact, oddly enough, July 4th was the 4th year anniversary.
Oh,
That was 4 years. So oddly enough, um, I am not. No, I'm actually not from here. I'm from deep South Texas, like
okay,
South Texas. You cannot go further south because you'll be in Mexico.
okay.
Like the shape, everybody knows what Texas is shaped like. It has that little point at the bottom.
Yeah,
From that point,
gotcha,
so pretty much,
gotcha.
I think. I don't know if it's the southernmost contiguous point in the United States. Maybe I'd have to look that up.
But got to be pretty close with like Key West and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty
Yeah,
close on parallel with Key West and all that.
yeah, definitely the Gulf area. And
Definitely a different climate, to be certain.
that is weird. Because if I had to guess, Texas is where I would have guessed you were from.
Really? Oh,
And
okay.
you know
Well,
why?
it's
You
a big.
look you look like you're from Texas.
Oh, do I?
There's something
Maybe it's the
about some
glasses.
people. I don't know what it is. Something maybe with the shape of the face, or something with a lot of people that I've met that have lived in Texas for a long time, or were born there. They have something in common.
It's our
You
weird
know,
heads. It's the shape of our weird heads.
maybe the pressure down there is different, so
Yeah,
your head gets
exactly.
shaped
The
differently.
effects of the barometric pressure and difference or something like that.
Because it's definitely not like an accent or anything. I don't hear an accent.
No, no, I've never had one. And Texas is such it's one of those huge states. It's so massive. It's just under behind Alaska, but in terms of landmass, it's huge. And unlike Alaska, a lot of people live in Texas. Lots.
Yes.
So you can go to West Texas, East Texas, Central Texas, South Central, South Texas, Panhandle. You're going to get different accents for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. That's like here. New York State's not very big, but people wise, I mean, and
Very dense.
upstate here is very different than the city. And down in the city, there's definitely not always, but a lot of times, there's somebody in the Fish fam who now lives in Buffalo. I think his name is Buffalo Photo, Foto. I think his name is. It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, as soon as I heard him talk for the first time, I was like, "Yep, he's from the city." And I haven't lived here my whole life, and I already can hear it. You could
Yeah.
sort of hear that accent from the city compared to upstate. So you lived in Texas. Have you lived in other places, or is it pretty much just those two?
Yeah, yeah. My career with the government, U.S. government, long time ago, long ages ago, eventually took me overseas, and I lived all over the country, Maryland, Eastern Seaboard, a lot of lived around the Maryland, Virginia, area, the Beltway, the
Gotcha.
cursed Beltway.
Yeah.
Lived in there, Annapolis area.
Okay.
There's a lot of Navy activity out there, and no, going back ages and ages ago, I had the opportunity for overseas, work, overseas deployment, basically, and I jumped on it because it's what I'd always wanted to do, and I just what I was doing and who I was with, it took me to Asia, and so most of my overseas career was actually in Asia.
Okay.
Started off in Cambodia. So that was the very first posting. Weird work. Had
Yeah.
to do with, you know who the Khmer Rouge are, right?
Yep. Yep.
We say Khmer Rouge. It's really Khmer Rouge.
Okay.
The Khmer Rouge were, super hardcore communist. They
Yeah.
did not fool around. They were not good dudes at all.
No.
And one of the first tasks overseas was reopening our U.S. embassy in Phnom Penh.
Oh. Okay.
Capital. So,
Wow.
security, comms, all of that stuff. There's a whole lot that goes into opening an embassy. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
reopening, as the case is.
Yeah. I mean, I've opened a Burger King before, so it's right about the same level. You know, it's
I'm
got to be
sure.
pretty close.
Absolutely. Burger King's probably tougher.
So it really wasn't a holiday in Cambodia then.
No, it was not. We did have a good time. I mean, there's definitely. So back then, Cambodia was super duper the Wild West.
Yeah.
And I do mean that. You could go in any number of, I'd say half a dozen places in the city and buy an AK-47 for $10. No problem. Maybe 7.
Wow.
$10 if you wanted a complement of ammunition. Of course, who wouldn't? Yeah. Back then, it was just all kinds of crazy stuff. Hyper marketization kind of happened. Weird gun ranges and like, hey, you can blow that house over there up with this rocket, for $50, and then we'll throw in, we'll let you have a go on this Russian-made, antique machine gun and shoot whatever you want, man. Have fun, tear it up.
Wow.
That was basically Cambodia back then, and
wow.
It's not that way anymore. They've
no.
down. There are a few businesses where you can go and still shoot some pretty heavy hardware, but not like that.
What time frame are we looking at? We looking at late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s?
This would have been early 90s, early.
Okay.
Yeah, early 90s.
Okay.
Because you'll remember Khmer Rouge and then the subsequent blow up with their neighboring Vietnam. The KR thought it would be a great idea to invade Vietnam next door and reclaim ancestral lands, and that did not go well at all for them. They never had the upper end. They basically sacked the village, and they were really, really nasty. They just took everyone out, and the Vietnamese army said, "Oh no, you didn't." And it was over for the KR.
Yeah.
That's ironically what ended the Khmer Rouge as a neighboring communist force. So
they picked the wrong fight.
They definitely picked several wrong fights. They had ticked the Thais off for a number of years, and the Vietnamese drove them straight up into the Thai border, and then Thailand's like, nope, you're not coming over here, dude. Just desserts, man. I mean, what can you say?
It sounds it's definitely an area that I'm not too educated about, and I'm interested in that type of history, and it's not even that old, really. 90s to me isn't old,
right.
But it seems like something I really need to maybe pick up a book and learn more about, because it sounds really interesting, the whole thing, and you were right in the middle of it, basically, right?
Yeah, I mean, this was so Cambodia at one time. I mean, Kampuchea was an immense kingdom, huge kingdom that stretched into present-day Laos, parts of Vietnam for sure, much of Thailand. It was a massive. This is before these were countries, right? These were just a huge kingdom, and you can see some pretty amazing things in Cambodia, particularly Angkor Wat. Go see their very, very famous, basically a city temple. It's a city that's a temple. It's huge.
Yeah.
Interestingly, a lot of restoration work and artwork there to restore it was done by North Korea, weirdly enough.
Huh.
Yeah, it's just, that part of the world, man, runs on a different clock, buddy. It's not what CNN and CBS and all. It's not black and white. It's all gray. It's all gray.
That's
what attracted me to Asia. And from there, southern Philippines, Indonesia. My wife is from Sumatra. My wife is Indonesian. All over the place. Bangladesh, Thailand.
Man.
Ooh, and much of the Middle East, right? Asia, right? It's technically, it's kind of right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Qatar, Saudi Arabia. Not my favorite. Let's see. Doha, Qatar, Saudi, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan. Did a weird 8-month stint in Pakistan that I never want to talk about ever. It's terrible. It's the worst thing ever, man.
We won't go into
So
that then.
yeah, no, it's
I
just
wish we had more time already. I feel like there's just so much to unpack there, and I bet you anything, you and Alex have just some amazing conversations
oh yeah, oh
about
absolutely.
that kind of stuff because he's well versed in the politics of those countries and stuff, and it just seems like I bet you guys could sit for hours and just talk about those things.
Yeah, and we do,
Yeah,
We just, I mean, before we know it, it's been an hour and a half or 2 hours, and it's like, what, really? I thought we were talking like maybe 30 minutes or something, you know?
yeah,
No, I've lived in a lot of different countries, some not so great, and some wonderful, and a lot kind of in between.
sure.
I didn't get to do a whole lot. I mean, I've been to Europe a lot, but never living there, not in Europe. So I just always Asia, and it's a very enriching experience. I would highly recommend. I mean, I get it that the whole pandemic thing is going on right now, so not great timing. But in the future, when things get a little bit back to normal, hopefully, I would highly suggest that people interested in other cultures, other foods, languages and experiences like that, get out there and see the world because it's super enriching. You'll never be the same.
Yeah, and that seeing things from other people's point of view can be so enlightening and just maybe open up your eyes to something you just never realized was happening or going on. Now, is there any place that you haven't been to that you really, really want to go to?
Yes, absolutely. Cuba.
Oh, cool.
I
Yeah.
really, 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 really want to go to Cuba. And now that I don't have a TS/SCI security clearance anymore, I don't care. I don't have anything to lose anymore. I can go to Cuba. No, actually, a lot of people don't know it. If you have any kind of clearance, I mean, secret or above, secret, there's TS, that's top secret. There's TS/SCI, that's top secret, single scope compartmentalized investigation with polygraph, all that crap. They have so many acronyms for the different levels of clearance. If you have any of that, you are not going to Vietnam, you are not going to China, and you are not going to Cuba. You're certainly not going to North Korea or Iran.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
do, you won't have a clearance when you come back. That's certain.
Yeah.
You'll lose it getting on the plane. Like poof, gone.
Yeah.
You're done.
And now there's no worries for you. And Cuba has
Yeah,
opened
Cuba.
up a lot of their we've opened up a lot of the travel, right? A lot
Yeah,
It's a lot
a lot of
easier to
it.
go than it used to be.
There's still restrictions, as I
Yeah.
understand it. There's still like, woo, you can't run through the streets with bags of money. Free Cuba, free Cuba. No, you can't do any of that. You'd probably get in trouble for that, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But there are certain restrictions. There are still, I believe, like certain restaurants that are okay for tourists, bars and restaurants and all that. But you are not supposed to just go into any restaurant and plop down American money or whatever. No, they're not supposed to serve you. That's for Cubans. So
Okay.
there's still definitely some separation there.
Yeah.
To what degree remains unclear to me. I want to go and find out.
Yeah.
Cuba was definitely one for sure. Argentina. I'd love to go to Argentina. Never been.
Yeah. Never been.
No, I've been all over Brazil. I don't.
Yeah.
Brazil's cool. There's some not so great stuff with their government right now that So I think we're going to put Brazil on hold there for a little while and
Yeah.
go back for a bit. I think
Bolsonaro, is that his?
Yeah, Bolsonaro.
Bolsonaro. Yeah.
Bolsonaro. Yeah, this dude is just straight up just having indigenous people killed and burning rainforests and be like, yeah, I'm doing it. I love doing it. What are you going to do about it? Just like, wow.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Not a good dude.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Argentina.
I'm not offending any Brazilian nationalists or anything like that may be in the stream. I don't mean, to get into politics, but
Yeah. Politics.
there's a certain
always...
level when politicians can go a certain level where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be quiet about this one. This is too much.
So you worked for the government for a very long time. You currently own a fish store. What other kind of hats have you wore?
So basically, a lot of what I was doing, not all of what I was doing, government, military, and all that, a lot of it I was able to take when I left, those skills and that knowledge and stuff, and basically turn it right into a pretty good career in information technology.
Oh,
a lot of the technologies that we use every day on a computer and this webcam, and all these RS-232 and all these codecs and stuff that make everything work. This is all developed either for the military or by the military for the military. So, I got out and jumped right into some pretty gnarly IT stuff, some dev work. I do, development work here and there. It was for me, it was a pretty easy transition. It really was super easy. I was like, done. I'm out of here later. It's not the same. It's not the same for most. It can be very, very difficult to find their civvies, to find their
transition.
You gotta army that stuff out. You gotta take that rigid kind of military, government way of thinking, and
excuse me,
and you gotta tone that stuff way down, and realize that people in the private sector, in the civilian world, they're not wired the same. Most of them, and
we haven't dealt with
late. People are going to misdeliver, and you can't break them down like you're a gunny, man. You can't do that. No. And some former, prior, however you want to say it, military people don't do that so hot sometimes.
Gotcha.
They can't turn that switch off.
Yeah.
I had no problem. I basically had it surgically removed. Done.
Nice. Yeah, I can imagine that transition is hard because you get so used to it that you feel like it's the only right way. It's the way. There's one way to do it, and this is the way, and this is how we do it. But then you get out here, and there's a million different ways to do that same thing.
Right. Absolutely.
And they're not all as efficient. Some of them are very inefficient, and it must be hard for people.
Right. Yeah. The military is, typically speaking, very efficient at getting things set up and getting like, boom, to like, okay, we're at our mission accomplished. We're here,
Peak. Yeah.
But like tearing things down and moving out, not so much. They're just off to the next adventure. So yeah, I was watching the news reports on the Bagram airfield in Afghanistan. I don't know if you've seen that on CBS or whatever. I usually don't watch mainstream news too much.
Yeah.
But I was looking at the airfield. They were doing flyovers and saying, the Taliban are just over there. They're closing in and blah, 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 raising heck about it. And I recognize still all of those places. They're flying over. I'm like, yep, there's where the DFAC was. There's where the So
see, very interesting. I've never served, never lived that life, but I was an IT guy, so we have that part in common.
Right.
I did that for 25 years before I retired. So, but not like dev. I didn't like dev work. I was a web developer way back in the early 2000s, where we used Notepad for our IDE. That was it.
Right on. Right on. Or Dreamweaver, right? Remember that?
Didn't even use Dreamweaver. That was even after when I was done with it. It was most of it was still HTML, CSS, a little PHP, JavaScript. That was the extent of it.
Yeah, basically all I did was like just straight up HTML, like no CSS at all. Like, what was that? It's cascading styles, whatever. Don't care. Delete.
Yeah,
just do everything manually. It's easier, right? No, it's not. In fact, to do.
Yeah, static web pages. So static, they didn't change. You'd have to use a database and nothing. Kids these days, they don't know how good they got it. Damn kids.
Well, you and I are I have no idea what your age is, but we're of the same, I'm assuming, age to where we remember life way, way, way before. There was no internet.
Yeah.
There was no internet. There was no cell phone. There were no mobile phones.
Yeah.
No.
I just got rid of it a couple years ago. A TSR 100, the Tandy, the Radio Shack, mobile, the laptop. So it ran on 3 AA batteries and would run for like a month on 3 AA batteries. And it even had cup modems that used to go on the old phone, the round cup modems. You would pop them on it into the phone and dial up a BBS somewhere. But yeah, there was no internet,
Yeah, no. And then when you did get internet, it was like, there were like maybe 3 local access lines,
Yeah.
And you could not remember, if someone had called it up, well, I guess you don't get on the internet, man.
Yeah. Different days.
Oh yeah.
So IT, government work. Did you do anything else when you were younger before you got into the government work or anything?
Yeah, actually. So what got me started? And I know usually you don't talk so much about fish or fish keeping or plant keeping that much. I mean, a little bit, sure.
Yeah.
Um, let me think. I almost told a lie there on accent. My very first job was totally illegal, right? In South Texas, working on the side of highway. I think it was 77. You know, at a fruit stand. You
Oh,
know,
gotcha.
in the Rio Grande Valley. And my second job was legal, right? And it was working for a really big outfit named Paradise Pets, and they were like importers, shippers, retailers of
Oh, okay.
all kinds of freshwater and saltwater, big time into the saltwater. Also did a lot of birds, small animals, a lot of reptiles too. So I got a job early on working for that outfit as a young teen, and that's kind of, I was already into fish. But
Gotcha.
that's kind of where I started learning a lot about where does this stuff come from? How does it get in the country? How do you do this? How do you do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, it was good. It was good exposure. It was really great.
And you kept that knowledge all those years and remembered it when you decided. Now, you're right. We don't usually talk about the fish part of it, but you're a little bit different. You're a special case, Jason. You're a special case.
Yeah, definitely special.
Owning a fish store like you do, and I've been looking over at the chat a little bit. They've been dropping your links and stuff for the store.
Awesome.
Jason does have an actual brick and mortar fish store, but he also sells fish online at redfishbluefish.store.
Dot shop.
Dot shop. I'm sorry, dot shop.
That's okay.
Lot of great fish there. A lot of cool fish.
Appreciate that.
Now, every Saturday do you do a stream where you give out codes, or is that a very specific once in a while thing? You do a stream every Saturday.
I do. Yes, I do stream. I'm sorry, I had to walk over and do something.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I do a stream every Saturday. I actually missed a couple of weeks. I did stream last Saturday, but I think the 2 Saturdays prior to that, mechanical vehicle stuff, that wasn't going to happen. It wouldn't have been a good stream anyhow.
Gotcha.
I do. And I do give away like once a month, usually maybe once every month and a half. We try to do something that I call pressure hour. And that's where, during that stream and during that stream only, I'll throw out a discount code for something. It could be any cichlids in the shop. It could be any tetra. We could do something really crazy sometime. It would be a nightmare to set up. You could do like all bluefish in the shop or 15% off. People have to log on that hour, listen to the live stream, because there could be more info if they want to take advantage of it. Because whenever I shut down those pressure hour live streams, that's it.
The code's gone.
Yeah, it's done.
So you hear that, people? Go check it out on Saturdays at what's at your time?
10 a.m. Pacific.
Okay.
So that'd be 1 p.m. your time?
Yes. 3 hours. Yep.
Way up there next to almost in Canada.
Yeah, we're probably pretty close as far as looking, if you look at it, we're probably just as far north as you are. We got to be pretty close.
We are.
You guys are up there too. So
yeah, if you follow like where you are and where I am, and you follow that all the way over, and you cross into Europe. The interesting thing, I'm a huge plant nerd, and I like geology and ultramathism and how it induces speciation and all that really like super nerdy, like not most people don't like that stuff. I really do. And what's interesting is we're more or less where I live and more or less where you live, that vicinity. If you trace around on a globe, you follow that parallel over whatever parallel that is. I'd have to look it up myself. You will realize that you hit in Europe pretty closely. You hit some really well-known farmland, huge farmland areas in the south of France and in middle France, which is where huge amounts of incredible produce and especially beef and cheeses come from. So that's actually really big here. Like, organic produce, local, like small batch, handmade, blah, 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 cheeses and all that stuff
Yeah.
is really big here. And I think it's a pretty decent interest and business where you're located as well, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Apples. We're the second largest apple provider in the United States. Our
And not
county.
just apples too. I mean, you guys got all kinds of stuff going
Yeah.
on, like syrup and all.
Yeah.
Vermont's not the only syrup state, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, we can get
lots of
there are
New York.
maple trees. We can go out and get it. My wife's cousin does it all the time. All the dairy farms, just like Wisconsin, we've got the cheese curds and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Wine. There's a winery on the next road over. Very cool thing. She's a Japanese lady who moved here in the '80s to go to school for meteorology. Met somebody who owned the property. They put together a winery. He passed away, but she does everything. She does the art for the bottles. She grows the grapes. She mixes the grapes. She does every single aspect of it. She works the
Wow.
store, and she's won all kinds of awards for her wines. Very good wines. So yeah,
Wow.
it's interesting though because that part of France is so much warmer usually than us because of that. I can't remember what it's called, but the current there that comes up the north. It heads north up our coast and then hits. Because the UK, look how far north they actually are.
Yeah.
I mean, they're way up there. If they didn't have that stream going,
the trade winds, the Gulf Stream, the trade winds, whatever they call it. Yeah.
Whatever that is called, yeah, it really warms them up. So if it would stop or slow down, they could be like Alaska type weather.
There's something about land, kind of in this parallel. Ish, I don't mean like, oh, this only this island, only your place are good, everything else is crap. No, I don't mean that. But there's something about this, this parallel. When you follow it around the world, if you come across places where the land is close to either the ocean, like this is, or another very large body of water, and I'm talking to you, you've got a huge body of water just to the north of you, massive.
Yeah.
It's like a small ocean, basically, except it's freshwater. If you follow that around, anywhere where you see land is kind of close to the ocean, close to a large body of water, it's super fertile. There's all kinds of stuff going on at this parallel.
Yeah.
I find that kind of thing really interesting.
It is, because what makes it from there to here to France, what is it? It must be something about the amount of sun that we get and the different, the temperatures. I don't know, but there's got to be something that's related, right?
Yeah,
there's got to be a
balance, I guess, for right now. Anyways, I mean, things seem to be changing, but
we will see a change, definitely.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? We're already halfway through the stream.
Are we? Hopefully, my battery holds up.
Yeah, can you even see how far you?
No, I can't even see it.
You said you had like 63% when we started, so let's go ahead and again, people that just came in, I didn't say hi to everybody. We don't really look at the chat at all the whole first time. It's just Jason and I talking. But now's the time. If you have questions for Jason, throw them up in the chat there. And if you could, please do the at Rico stand so I can see it. You probably can't even see the chat at all, right, Jason?
No, I can't.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm historically garbage at keeping up with chat anyways, so I don't think it would matter if I could see it or not. I'd still be terrible at it.
You know what? I'm not very good either, and I'm really trying to get better. I've really been trying to make an effort to say hi to everybody that comes in and just to show my appreciation, because I don't like it when I go into a stream and talk to people and everybody just ignores me. It's no fun. You want to be part of it. So, okay, let's see. I'm going to scroll up here a little bit.
Okay.
And let's see if we've got any questions for Jason. All right. Let's see. Tons of people came in. I love seeing everybody. Thank you so much for all the thumbs up. And I see all the usual suspects in here. It's good to see everybody. John McKenzie said, I'm getting worried. Jason's going to say too much, then have to hunt us all down.
No. It's definitely wasn't one of those careers,
Gotcha.
Like there's, having been like in the government or in the military, any of that, and tons of people will say this, it completely ruins movies because you're like,
It's
Dude,
not like
that's
that.
not how any of that works. None
Yeah.
of that. You would be dead like 50 times over if you did it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. I think it's that way with every career, just more so with your kind of career because there's so many action movies and stuff that are based on that. But even IT guys, the
Yeah.
famous enhance, the
Yeah.
picture that's every single career I think says, oh no, it's nothing like that at all. They're not even close. Oh, I
No.
was going to ask, your wife's from Sumatra.
Mhm.
How did you guys meet? Obviously,
Oh
you were
man.
over there for.
I was actually I was burning out pretty big time, and I had some R&R that I was owed, and I took it. And I'd been to a lot of other literally we were just talking about getting a globe out. Literally in the embassy, right? Still at work. There's globes all over the place, dude. Every other office has a flipping globe in it, and most of them are crappy, government issues, so they're all wrong. But I was just like spinning it, looking at like I've been here. Oh heck no, I'm never going to there again. And I had been kind of not avoiding it, but I just know that there's so much to the country of Indonesia, the archipelago of Indonesia. It's I have to think about this so I don't get it wrong. It's 17,000 islands.
Wow.
17,000, or I have to look it up. It's been a while, but 427, I want to say, distinct languages, not dialects, languages.
Wow.
So literally people from island here, they go across the ocean. They finally make it across, and there's people that look just like them, have no idea what they're saying to each other, like no clue.
Yeah.
There's no commonality. And
Gotcha.
I knew that once I got into it, I get sucked in because I really like, anthropology and humans and not all humans. Some humans I don't like, but for the most part,
Yeah.
especially the new and the unfamiliar. I've always been a big fan of that. I spent most of my childhood in libraries. I mean, honestly, just if I was either outside fishing in nature, doing something, running around, or in a library, not video games. I just never liked them. Just couldn't do them. But I finally took R&R. I kind of got off subject there. Rambled as I'm wont to do, for sure.
Me too.
Took some R&R, and I was over there with a totally insane Canadian guy. I met him there, and he was nuts. Yeah, absolutely nuts. Hardcore drinker, really good pool player. Took my money for sure. And it just happened to my future wife was over there, with a big group of her friends from college. And I heard, this voice, a female voice, obviously with a heavy Indonesian accent, speaking really, really good English, like super good. And I was like, whoa, that got my attention, because you do not hear that in Indonesia. Usually English is not very well spoken there. It's bits and pieces. You can kind of make it out.
Yeah.
And, fast forward, we exchanged numbers and, kind of, we kept in touch. We were basically just email buddies for about 3 years.
Wow.
Honestly, that's it.
Yeah.
But there was no huge whirlwind romance on the beach when I met her. Ta-da! We fell into each other's arms. No.
The slow run towards each other.
No. That's a conservative country. You don't do that, man. It's Negatron. That takes time. But I'm kind of a conservative guy with that sort of thing. I don't wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm not one of those guys.
Gotcha. I do.
And I kind of met her there, and she was in Jakarta, wrapping up, I think, her 3rd degree.
Nice. Do you guys have any kids?
We do. Yeah, we have one kid, son.
Uh-oh. We lost your audio.
Okay.
There we go. Yep. Okay. It was just for a second we lost it. I didn't get his name. Yeah, that's okay. You don't even have to say it again. I don't want it to. Maybe that's not a good thing to have your son's name on there.
No, that's fine, actually. I'm getting a pop-up having to do with work. Something.
Yeah, take your time. If you need to, take care of it. No problem.
And if it pops up again, we're gonna have to do something about that.
Okay. We got about 20 minutes left, but again, if you need to take off, don't Don't worry, you won't hurt my feelings or anything. I understand you got business to run. So, um, okay. And how long have you guys been married now?
Oh, geez, you're gonna get me in trouble. We're coming up on 20, coming
Oh,
up on
nice,
20 years. Yeah,
nice,
it's just around the bend.
nice.
Just
Is
around.
there anything that she really misses about home that's just not here? Probably quite a
Yeah,
few things, but is there anything that really sticks out for her?
I think more than anything, it's family.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
family's a long, long ways away. Some of them are
Yeah.
getting up there a little bit. And so the pandemic definitely has made things not great. Couldn't travel. There's no chance of going over there. In fact, they're still on forced lockdowns right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, she
Yeah.
definitely misses that. She definitely misses the food for sure.
I
But so
bet.
do I. But
I
so do
bet.
I for sure. That's
Yeah.
definitely one of the best things about living in Asia is the cuisine, is the food.
Yeah.
Food is very plentiful. It's very good and it's really cheap. So
Yeah. And it's not. And don't get me wrong, I love a cheeseburger and some French fries, but yeah, you give me some other all different types of Thai food. I love just the Chinese food or our version of it, and all of it. I love all of it. It's amazing cuisine. Okay, here's one for you. What's your favorite movie? Are you a movie buff at all? Do you have a favorite
oh
movie?
man, yeah, I am. I am actually a movie buff. Favorite movie, man, I have a whole lot of them.
It's
That's
hard.
really, really
It's
tough to
hard.
call a favorite one.
What's one of your favorites? What's one that stands out for you? I can never do that. When people ask me stuff, I don't care what the medium is. I can't do it. Music, reading, whatever it is, I can't do it.
It's a movie that unfortunately was really good. Like the first time I saw it, it floored me. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe what a brilliant film that was." Unfortunately, when you finish the film, because of the nature of how it's filmed, like basically backwards, you can't rewatch it again because you
Yeah.
know everything. And that film would be Memento.
I don't remember watching. I know I'm sure I have. Who is in? Is that Halle Berry? Why am I thinking who's in that?
No, that's oh god, Guy Ritchie or not Guy Ritchie. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm so bad with names. I'm so bad with names and actors and stuff.
um, Zen Ginger's in here. Good to see you, Zen.
Oh, nice.
She while you're looking that up, what's been the hardest thing about starting your business besides all the broken fish tanks?
Oh gosh, everything. It's Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce.
And
Okay.
Carrie Ann Moss and
I
Joe
know
Pantoliano.
Joey Pants. I
Yeah,
know
Joey
I've
Pants.
seen it. I just don't remember it. My memory is. I'm getting up there. My memory's it's sort of fading.
I just said Guy Ritchie. It's Guy Pearce. So I'm just.
Yeah. You should
So
say Guy Fieri.
yeah. The hardest thing about opening up the shop was the lack of material. Just straight up. I mean, just lumber,
Yeah.
aquariums. No.
Yeah.
Had a wholesale account, various different vendors. And you could not get any aquariums, for months and months and months. You could get very few because glass was being repurposed and used to, for COVID stuff, related stuff. Plastic, same thing, going to make face masks and all that good stuff. Lumber was, 3 times priced higher than what it was. It was just,
Yeah.
really was insane. Everything from consumer electronics, other consumables that a fish store needs, you name it. It was just months of waiting to get stuff, to get our
Yeah.
hands on stuff.
Just the worst possible time to start up.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, if it had been a year earlier,
Ironic. The irony is that I would have never been able to get the space that I got for the deal that I got for the ridiculous length of time that I got it.
oh,
Had COVID-19 not literally blown up the world and knocked, and it sounds terrible. I don't mean it terrible, but knocked out a whole lot of other small businesses, and it's terrible. But
yeah,
it would have never happened.
it was your silver lining at least.
Yeah. pretty much.
Okay, Fishymon came in saying hi, and hi to everybody else. Again, we got about 14, 15 minutes left. Jason's very tight on time. He's got a lot to do after the stream, so we want to get our questions in. So I don't want to waste time saying hi to everybody. Dragon Lair, tell Jason I said to reach out to Heiko, Heiko. I don't want to say the name wrong, about Cuba. He's going collecting there in October. He'll invite Jason along. After all, he invited me.
Oh, that's Heiko Blair.
Heiko.
Yeah.
Okay.
Heiko. Yeah, he's a legend, and he's a Blair. See, I'm a Blair. He's a Blair. Although we spell our last names completely different.
Oh, okay. The only Blairs I know had a witch thing going on.
Yeah. I'm one of the Scottish Blairs.
Oh yeah, that's another thing we have in common. I've got my dad's side of the family's all Scottish.
Right on, man. Yeah, we're pretty much all Scottish, all of it, both sides.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mine's
there are a lot of Scottish people and German people that settled in Texas. Lots.
I did not know that. I mean, I knew like German, like the Pennsylvania Dutch are really closer to Germans, and you know about the Norwegians that went to Wisconsin and Minnesota, but I didn't realize that Texas had so many Scottish people.
Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite small catfish for bottom of a platy colony tank? And that's an actual fish question.
The bottom of a platy, man. I would just go with a good old classic, the Paliatus. You know, like the high fin. They call them the high fin or the long fin. Just the salt and pepper Cory. You know, I guess that's what people are calling them: salt Cory, pepper Cory, salt and pepper Cory. I just go for some of those little guys, you know, because they're super peaceful. They're really nice, and they don't break the bank. You can usually get them for like, I don't know, $5 or something, which is not bad at all.
And do you have some in stock right now?
I think I might have like 2 or 3. I had a ton of them, and they went pretty well. I think I definitely have at least a couple of them knocking around. They're in a tank with a bunch of Hongzlo eyes, you know, Epistogramma Hongzlo eyes that act aggro at them all the time. They're completely harmless. I mean, they're Epistos, dude. They're not going to beat anyone up.
Well, there you go, Michael. I'd go take a look at Jason's shop and just see if he's got something available like that. All right, let's see. Richard McCarthy says Indonesia and Borneo are like the most culturally diverse places of time. Would love to make a trip someday. Places out of time, maybe. You got a typo in there, so
probably. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It's very, very culturally diverse, and in fact, much of Indonesia, the easternmost portion, actually lies on the other side of a huge tectonic plate. So you can be in Bali, you know, right, which is on the west side of that tectonic, of that crack under the surface of the ocean that none of us can see. It's very deep. And Bali is very volcanic, very rich, loamy soil, very green, monkeys everywhere. It's like a paradise, really. It's a Hindu island, by the way. It's not Muslim, it's Hindu. And then you get on a plane and you go a few, you know, not even 100 miles, maybe 150 miles further east, and land in a neighboring island, Flores. Flores looks just like Arizona, surrounded by ocean.
Oh,
it's super rocky. It's all sand. It's very, very dry. Not a whole lot of green spaces there. It's very arid, you know. And the people there look totally different. Totally different.
Yeah.
And that's because the Portuguese colonized Flores Island, and there was a lot of interbreeding and intermarrying and stuff that went
gotcha.
back then.
Yeah.
So their language is very different. They speak a weird Portuguese mishmash. It's bizarre. It's a very strange place.
That sounds like a great place to go. I'd love to check it out.
Oh yeah.
And I wonder how fast it's moving away too, because of that tectonic plate. You said they're on both sides, so they're in that part of the world. They're not coming together, right? They're splitting apart.
I think so.
So I mean, I'm just interested. I mean, maybe it's a really slow year, but yeah. I mean, it's not, obviously nothing you're going to notice, but maybe over a lifetime. I guess if it's all ocean, how are you going to see? Exactly. You know where it's happening. Let's see. Memento was an incredible movie. Oh, here we go. Ed's picking up cichlids. How big is your store, and is it just fish?
So it is just in terms of animals, it's just fish. Yeah, but a big part of what I do and what I love are planted tanks and aquascapes. You know, not just aquascapes and not just planted tanks and not just fish. The shop is just it's not quite 1,000 square feet. It's 900-ish. When I started this shop, I didn't really have a vision of what it wanted to be, but I knew that it needed however it ended out, right? However it ended up, I should say, it needed to give fair shake and fair representation to all three of those
Gotcha.
facets of the hobby that I love so much.
Yeah.
You know, freshwater fish, especially the nano guys, the smaller ones, because let's face it, everyone loves cichlids, but they're really kind of going down in terms of popularity. And it's just, we've seen it going for years, you know. And there's also only so many Lake Malawis and, you know, cichlids left out there.
Yeah.
But however the shop turned out, it needed to represent fish, planted tanks, and aquascapes. So it kind of turned out exactly that way, which I'm happy about. So like I say, just around 900 square feet. It's not a large shop at all. It's not a large shop, and it's exactly the same, exactly the size I wanted. It's just large enough, you know.
Gotcha. And for anybody that's interested, again, on Saturdays when Jason does his stream, a lot of times he'll take us around and show us the tanks and stuff and show us fish and show us the shop so you can get to see it too.
Some aquascapes we're working on and you know, plants that we're moving out of the little lab and moving into our tanks, you know.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
Also, Alex, Secret History Living in Your Aquarium, and Bentley Pasco have both done trips to the fish store and made videos about it, so you can see those. Who else was it? Did Kenny or somebody else did too?
Yeah. Kenny and Danny have been up multiple times. And
okay.
Gosh, we've had a lot of different people. Atkins Nature Aquarium.
Yep.
Mr. Ian has been up here. He's an awesome guy. I got to meet him once. He and Kenny came up and helped me drag around some really heavy stuff that my poor old bones just couldn't do on their own anymore. Yeah. So we, you know, we're a full service shop. We're not, you know, I didn't, you know, a pet peeve of mine, I'll break into this. So something that always like sets my teeth on edge when I walk into a fish store is if they have rows and rows and rows of everything from fish food to this kind of filter, that kind of filter to the, you know, everything you could imagine out of like the central pet catalog, right?
Yeah.
That always sets my teeth on edge because that tells me that's not a shop that really cares about success for their customer. Because if they did, they would have taken the time to stock just the stuff that's going to work and that other, I'm sorry, but crap, which is about 85% of the crap that is available in every fish store. That would all be in the dumpster if they cared.
Yeah.
And I did not want that kind of shop. You know, 3 or 4 kinds of food, you know, 3 kinds of meds to treat like everything. That's it. And just get the stuff in that works and that we can restock and it's not like unobtainium. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So stuff that you've you know that you've used successfully and you know you have experience with and like the product. That's
Absolutely.
great. That's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And stuff that I bought so much doo-doo over the years just for fish keeping and food and this thing and that thing. And most of it is just not good. It's just, there are so many bad products out there. So that's why I wanted, you know, you come in here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shelves of hard goods. That's it. Not, you know, rows and rows of double-sided, you know, Petco style, you know.
Yeah.
No.
Every plant or every light made and
every light, none of the good ones, right? No Fluval 3.0s, but plenty of Aqueons.
Yeah.
You know, they're not the best.
Geek Boy's in the chat, and I know something happened to Geek Boy, and he's probably not going to bring it up, and he was very disappointed because he was dying to come see you. He was up in your neck of the woods, but he didn't know that you had to make a reservation on the ferry. I believe that's what it was, or the ferry, something like that. Yeah, okay. So he missed out.
So Yeah, so there are two ferries that come to the island, right? There's one that leaves a place on the mainland. It's a very weird name. It's called Mukilteo. It leaves Mukilteo and comes to Clinton, which is the southernmost city on the island. You don't need a reservation for that one. Now, the other one comes from Port Townsend, and that lands in Coopville, right? EB's Landing, a Coopville, basically. And you do need a reservation for that. If you
Okay.
don't have one, you better hope that they're not busy. And by the way, good luck with them not being busy in the summer. Everyone's coming out here.
Gotcha.
So you will be almost 100% turned away with just, what were you thinking? Kind of look.
Yeah.
What were you thinking? Really? You do know
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer, man. I would have loved for Geek Boy to come up here and visit.
He's from Colorado, so that was a nice little getaway. They got up there and really wanted to come see you. But okay, we're running out of time here. So Whips World, what's your oddest oddball fish in the store?
Oddest oddball. Wow. Do I even have any oddballs? That's actually a really good question. Before I give my answer, not really. I don't have really super odd fish right now. And you do have to be careful with the oddballs, right? You do have to be careful because a tendency that a lot of people have, especially when they have a new shop or a new online business, which is just another form of a shop, right? Fish room that you're selling out of, that's still a shop. They have a tendency to go out there and get either the rarest stuff or the oddest stuff to try to kind of make a name for themselves. That's very much a mistake. Rare fish and odd fish do not pay the rent. Cardinal tetras pay your rent.
Gotcha.
Neon tetras pay your rent. Guppies pay your rent. Platies pay your rent. So that's why I don't have a whole lot of oddball stuff. I did. Let me think. Probably the oddest fish that I have is the Aspidorus spilotus right now. It was just like a stretched limo kind of Corydoras. It looks just like a Cory.
Yeah.
But it looks like somebody took it and like stretched it, like grabbed it and stretched it, and then put two little white spots on it on the nape of its neck. It's a very weird fish.
I'll have to look those up. I'm not familiar with them. I'm pretty new to fish keeping myself, so but I definitely have to look at those.
They're very peaceful. They're really cute. About maybe 2.25 inches is their maximum size. Very easy to breed in captivity. Just feed them well. Give them somewhere to hide, and then sooner or later you'll start finding eggs all over the glass.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they'll
nice.
breed like crazy for you, no problem.
I definitely need to look into them. And you have some of those available.
I do. Yeah, absolutely.
There we go.
Yeah, I have a few of those.
I know. Well, I'm not trying to make it an ad for your store, but I just I just want to help out and
No.
I have a 75 gallon here, and every fish in there except for one, I have some spotted Raphaels, but everything else that came in there, all was from Fish Fan people. Everything was all people online that I know from FishTube.
Nice.
And I love trying to spread the wealth, so to speak, and get people like yourself traffic and sales and stuff. Just to, I want to see you successful because you're part of us. And so
I appreciate that, man. I really do.
You being successful makes the rest of us successful too. We've got someplace great to buy fish from that we know somebody is going to take care of them. We're not going to get just a Petco guppy. Nothing against Petco.
No. Yeah. No,
Steven?
we definitely, I realized working for Paradise way back in the day that all the stuff, and I'm not picking on Asia. I lived in Asia for most of my life. My wife is Asian, right? But here's the big but. I realized pretty early on that Asia always provided the cheapest and sickest fish, for sure. The most plentiful and the cheapest fish, also by far the sickest.
Gotcha.
And I realized it didn't take me long to figure that out. And then once in a while, we get some fish in from Germany, and it was like, whoa, are these even the same fish? What is going on with these fish? Wow, what's wrong with them? Well, what's wrong with them is just that they have excellent pedigree. That's what's wrong with them. They have excellent genetics, and they've been maintained, and they haven't been, allowed. Their genes haven't been allowed to collide too many times, and then they start getting inbreeding and all this stuff going on, and it's not good.
Gotcha.
So that's why I stick to Europe.
Gotcha. Good to know. See, that's great information for people. Stephen would like to know, do you get more traffic online or in the store, in the brick and mortar?
Definitely online. Definitely online. Yeah. We are right now right in the midst. We talked about this a little bit before the stream began. We are, the summertime blues, right? We call it that for a reason. It's because most of the time in the spring, especially in the summer, people are spending way less times with their aquariums. You know,
Yeah.
hopefully they're doing their water changes and they're feeding their fish, but
Yeah.
they're definitely not ordering a whole lot of new fish or a whole lot of new plants. They're definitely usually not setting up aquariums. If anything, tubs, right?
Yeah.
And even then, I gotta say, most aquarists don't tub. You know, most don't. They're like, yeah, maybe I'll do one this year, and they don't.
I did my first year.
Right on. So we're right in the middle of the summertime blues right now, the so-called summertime blues. And then when you couple that with the fact that everybody's been forcibly locked up, kind of social distance to heck and back for a year and a half, people are definitely not looking to spend time indoors with aquariums right now. They're at the beach, they're out, they're shopping, they're trying to get back to their lives.
Yeah, hanging out with friends and
going on. It's pretty slow at times.
Yeah,
but that's seasonal, you know.
Yeah, this one I think is going to be worse than any one in the last decade or so. But you know, September, October, they'll be coming back, right?
Oh, no question. Yeah, September, October is usually when it starts kicking off again, and then you know you're rocking and rolling. And then guess what? Next summer, guess what? It happens again. It's just it's seasonal. It really is a seasonal business. It is.
You got to get used to it. Yep. Yeah, and get through those. Let's see. I just want to. Geek Boy said a few things about his trip here. I want to touch on well, you know what? We're already past. It's 7:32. And again, I know you're pressed for time, so I don't want to take up any more of your time. Jason, so much. I just appreciate it. This was a great talk. You know what? I'd love to do it again because I really feel like we didn't get a chance to really dig into too much.
No. I'd love to go into and talk about experiences overseas, you know?
Yeah.
And talk about what I can. I mean, I can't talk about anything operationally or whatever.
Sure.
Whoa, why were you in Bangladesh? None of your business. That's why I was in Bangladesh. That's the answer. But I would love to talk about experience of, you know, getting deathly ill in Bangladesh and thinking like I'm going to die. And then the next day, like, oh, why didn't I die already? You know, that bad. So many, getting dengue fever, not once, but twice.
Wow.
Once in Cambodia, once in Indonesia.
Wow.
Not recommended. Not recommended even once.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one.
It's miserable. Yeah, break bone fever. It literally makes you feel like your bones are going to break. Like crazy muscle spasms. It's bad. It's bad. But
and a lot of people do.
You know, we could maybe schedule another one a little down the line. I don't want to subject your viewers to too much of this mug. You know, we got to let them recover, man, before we hit them with another one of these.
Sure. Well, they're used to seeing me, so you're nothing. You know, you're fine. You're like Fabio over there. You know, so let's try and do that. But I want to cut this short and let you get going. So. If you'll hang out with me just for a minute, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Let's see. Anything coming up this week? No. But tonight, there's still quite a few streams to watch. We've got Diego at 8 o'clock, I believe. I'm not sure if Diego's going tonight, but Diego and Ed, 8 o'clock normally. Who else do we have on Tuesday nights? I'm drawing a blank. I don't know. There's other good streams, though. So go spread the love. Go watch some other streams and support your fish fan people so we can keep doing this and having a great time. And Jason, thanks so much. Oh, Bentley. Absolutely. Yeah, Bentley at 9 o'clock. Catfish Terry at 9 o'clock. All Things Fish might be at 10 o'clock. Dr. Black at 10 p.m. These are all Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, a whole bunch of them. Thanks, S. Thanks for all those. And, okay, everybody, take care, and we will see you on the next one.
Thanks for having me.